I have the high privilege and distinct honor of presenting to you the President of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky. Slava Ukraini! Slava Ukraini!
The first known instance of a battle cry or a war cry being used in popular literature is in the epic poem Iliad by Homer. There is a character named Diomedes, who's referred to as the Lord of the Battle Cry. Diomedes' battle cry was so loud and so powerful, it could make the enemy weak in his knees. Diomedes, in fact, is referred to as the one with the loud war cry, the Lord with the loud war cry. Diomedes was responsible for stealing the sacred image of goddess Athena, who is the protector of Troy. Throughout history, there have been many instances of war cries being used to rally support among troops and take them into battle. The battle cry has truly played an integral and fascinating role in the history of masculinity. From the Roman Empire and their cry of Baratus to the Ura, which was used by the Russian Red Army soldiers in World War II, to the Ukai of the Mongol warriors, there is a rich chronicle of battle cries. The latest battle cry seems to be the Ukrainian one, Slava Ukraini.
Slava Ukraini! Slava Ukraini!
On Crux Decode this week, we examine the origins of Slava Ukraini, the latest battle cry. Does it have fascist and Nazi origins? Is the Ukrainian government accused of deliberately pushing a slogan which has extremist leanings and might be offending to minorities? Nationalism has been on the rise since the Maidan revolution in Ukraine in 2014 and the subsequent annexation of Crimea by Russia. At one point, before the start of this current invasion of Ukraine, more than 60% of Ukrainian citizens identified themselves as Ukrainian. That was before their own ethnic local identity. That figure was less than 40% a decade ago. And I'm sure by the end of this war, it'll be more than 90 to 95%. All citizens of Ukraine are now being viewed from the common prism of Ukrainians first, regardless of their ethnicity, the language they speak, or the religion they follow. The most pronounced manifestation of this Ukrainian identity is the official comeback of the call and response Slava Ukraini, Heroyam Slava. In English, that translates to Glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. Now, this is a war cry that dates back almost 100 years ago and has been used by a variety of groups. Slava Ukraini traces back its roots to the 1930s when it was employed by the Organization of Ukrainian Nationalists, or the OUN, and the Ukraine Insurgent Army, the UPA. Now, these organizations fought for Ukrainian independence before and during World War II. They allied with Nazi Germany to achieve this goal, and they perpetrated atrocities against tens of thousands of minorities, Jews and Polish people in that. Today, this call and response of Slava Ukraini is widely used by Ukrainians as a battle cry for soldiers against a much bigger enemy in Russia. Which is why Vladimir Putin referred to this operation as denazification. Today, a Nazi slogan has become Ukraine's rallying cry. It's become the call for freedom across the Western world. Rather than leave it as the people's unofficial rallying cry, the Ukrainian government pushed for this to become the official greeting of the Ukrainian armed forces. It was codified into law in 2018, that is much before this current war began. It's also become the official slogan of the Ukrainian national football team. The national squad, in fact, wore their traditional yellow and blue jerseys with this slogan printed on the back for the first time in 2018 during the World Cup that was hosted by Russia. Not surprisingly, Russia criticized this move for glorifying a fascist slogan, but FIFA ruled that the jersey was accepted as per its rules. There was also the controversy around the Croatian defender Domagoj Vida. Vida posted a video after the Croatian team defeated the Russian team. He ended with the slogan Slava Ukraini. FIFA fined Vida, but Russia did not take kindly to it. Over the years, there have been numerous such war cries. The Mongol warriors, for example, in the 12th and 13th century, they used the word ukai. It is similar to saying amen. They would hold their palms up towards the sky, circle it 3 times, then say ukai. During the Crusades, Christian soldiers used to shout Du wilt, meaning God wills it, before killing Muslim soldiers as they fought for the Holy Land. Hurrah is a battle cry used by the Russian Red Army soldiers during World War II. But historians say it's been used for 200 years prior to that, used by the Russian Imperial Army as well. They believe that it came from the Ottoman phrase Vurha. And the most famous of these battle cries was what the Japanese samurais used to shout, Tenuhaika Banzai, meaning long live the emperor. Now, some argue that adopting slogans like these are important for the people. It's important as a rallying cry. It helps build a national identity. But the antecedents of this slogan, Slava Ukraini, are questionable. Also, the Ukraine government, back in 2015, passed a law which legally recognized Ukrainian nationalist groups like the Ukraine Insurgent Army. This also emboldens far-right extremist groups like the Azov Brigade, who are currently fighting on behalf of the Ukrainian government in Donbass. In fact, according to one estimate, there were 40,000 Azov fighters fighting in the south and the east of the country in this war with Russia. There was also a massive language push by the Ukrainian government. Back in 2016, the Rada passed a law that 75% of all programming on national television should be in Ukrainian. This is despite the fact that only 55% of Ukrainians back then would identify themselves as Ukrainian speakers, both at home and in the workplace. There was even an attempt to try and stop Ukrainian schools from teaching secondary languages like Russian and Hungarian and Romanian. But that was dropped after a furor by parents and school children. One thing is clear, from President Zelensky to ordinary people in Ukraine, they are all using this slogan, and that has certainly popularized Slava Ukraini as some form of modern-day cry for freedom. But its racist and xenophobic history certainly cannot be overlooked.
This is for you.
Oh, Sean.
Yes.
No.
Please.
That is yours.
No, I feel terrible outside. It's just a symbolic, silly thing.
Yes, but
if I know this is here with you, then I'll feel better and stronger for the fight.